So let's talk about the origins of life. So the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. There was no oxygen in the atmosphere, and the very first cells to develop were anaerobic prokaryotes. Recall that anaerobic means they did not need oxygen, and prokaryotes do not have a nucleus. They are small and simple, and they do not have a membrane-bound organelles. Chloroplasts develop, and the process of photosynthesis from chloroplasts turns the carbon dioxide into oxygen. And oxygen is what allows the rise of aerobic respiration. So scientists believe that the Earth was formed 4.6 billion years ago. Cosmic particles collided, they melted, they cooled. The planet was in a constant state of catastrophe. There was very little oxygen. The atmosphere was made up of mostly poisonous gases. The temperature was way too hot for water to stay in liquid form. But as the Earth started to cool, water fell and covered most of the Earth. So the idea of this endosymbiotic theory is the idea that prokaryotic cells, which were the first cells to develop, engulfed other prokaryotic cells. This resulted in the first eukaryotic organism. It explains the origin of eukaryotes, and it explains how certain membrane-bound organelles actually develop. So this picture here, both of these are prokaryotes. This is a bigger prokaryote. This is a smaller prokaryote. And this bigger prokaryote engulfed smaller prokaryotes. This, of course, is a mitochondrion. And it also engulfed the chloroplast, right? And soon the chloroplast and the mitochondria turned into, they started to have an interdependent relationship with the bigger prokaryote. So the membrane-bound organelles we're talking about, of course, are the mitochondria, and the mitochondria gives the cell energy. And the chloroplast, of course, which captures sunlight and uses it to make food for the cell. So we do have evidence to support this endosymbiotic theory. And you can click on these links to watch videos on the evidence for the endosymbiotic theory. But the evidence is the similarities between mitochondria, chloroplasts, and prokaryotes. And as an example for prokaryotes, we can talk about bacteria. All three have circular DNA. Bacteria, mitochondria, and chloroplasts all have circular DNA. We call that a plasmid. All three have their own ribosomes, and all three reproduce by binary fission.